Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Chuggu Podcast. My name is Thomas Durning, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Pearse McLaughlin. Hello, Pearse.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. On today's podcast, we'll be reacting to last weekend's English Premier League and English FA Cup semi-final results. We'll also be reacting to the Scottish Premier League results. And at the end of the podcast, Pearse will be giving the rundown of all the latest Asian football news. So, as always, we'll start off with the English Premier League results. So, on Friday, 24th of April, there was one match which finished Sunderland 0, Nottingham Forest 5. On Saturday, the 25th of April, the results finished Fulham 1, Aston Villa 0, Liverpool 3, Crystal Palace 1, West Ham 2, Everton 1, Wolves 0, Tottenham 1, Arsenal 1, Newcastle 0. And there was one final match on Monday, the 27th of April, which finished Man United 2, Brentford 1. So, Pearse, which match stands out to you the most?
I'm actually gonna go with West Ham 2, Everton 1,
Yeah.
just because of what it means and also the relegation battle. Because at one point it was level late in the game. Dewsbury Hall got an equaliser for Everton at the Olympic Stadium, and it looked as if with Tottenham's win at the weekend, that they'd actually get out the relegation zone. But then with Callum Wilson scoring a rebound in the 92nd minute, um, it makes it look nigh on impossible for Tottenham to now get out the relegation zone. And also West Ham are on a tremendous run of form under Nuno Espirito Santo. So for me, in terms of what it means, in terms of the relegation battle in the Premier League, I think that was monumental at the weekend.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Wolves 0, Tottenham 1. Another relegation battle match. And for me, that's a massive result for Tottenham, a massive one. Obviously, you just talked about West Ham 2, Everton 1. So, obviously, with Nottingham Forest winning on Friday, 5-0, and then West Ham scoring in the last minute, Tottenham had to win their game, and they did. I don't think it was a great match. Um, I think Tottenham had most of the ball and most of the chances, but they managed to nick a goal by a João Palhinha from a corner. And it's a big 3 points because it means that Tottenham stay stay close to West Ham in this relegation fight. I think with Nottingham Forest winning 5-0 on Friday, I just think that's and they won the week before that against Burnley. I just think that they've probably just about done enough to pull themselves out of that sort of relegation battle. I think they're just about safe now. So I think the battle now is between Tottenham and West Ham. Um, and during that, on Saturday afternoon, West Ham were winning 1-0 for a lot of that match. And for Tottenham, it was 0-0 for a lot of that match. And when you looked at that, you were thinking, well, if Tottenham don't win this and West Ham do win, then Tottenham are, for me, that they would have been virtually relegated. I wouldn't see them because I think West Ham would have had quite a bit of a gap between themselves and Tottenham. So I think Tottenham had to win that, and they did. And that so the table down there at the relegation battle it does stay the same. There's no movement. But I think that's what 4 matches to go now. Down and it's probably the relegation battle is probably a bit more exciting for me than the title race because obviously with the fact you've got Tottenham down there, it makes it a little bit more interesting because you know we've already talked about it on this podcast, but it does seem a bit unthinkable Tottenham going down. But yeah, massive result there for Tottenham, a really big win. And then just a couple of hours out, Arsenal managed to bounce back after their defeat against Man City. It was a very nervy win for them. They didn't play well at all, I don't think, but they managed to pull that out the bag. And obviously, yesterday, Monday the 27th of April, Man United won, which virtually all but confirms their Champions League spot. And I don't know about you, Pierce, but I think it's beginning to be very hard not to give Michael Carrick the job permanently because he's done a really good job since he's come in there. Um, I don't see who else can take that. I just think Michael Carrick's. I think he's done enough for the Man United to give him the job. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. But that's the results. Just staying on the Premier League, we had a big managerial update last week, and that was regarding Chelsea, and it was announced that Chelsea had parted company with Liam Rosenior. So that comes after Chelsea were defeated 3-0 by Brighton on the 21st of April. So it was on the 22nd of April that Chelsea put out a statement to say they had parted company. Um, they said that they were hoping to give them as much time as they could, but the results and performances fell below necessary standards, and they felt with a lot more to fight for, they felt that they had to make a change. So Pearse, Liam Senior sacked as Chelsea manager. What's your thoughts?
Um, I thought he was an exciting manager when they first appointed him. He was doing really well with Strasbourg and Ligue 1, done well in the Championship with Derby and Hull. Um, but I think when he went to Chelsea, he started off pretty decent, but then just some of his antics and sidelines in terms of giving instructions, and then you're chasing games, you're just taking like for like substitutions, like taking two fullbacks off and putting on two fullbacks. And then obviously the fact is that he's lost five Premier League defeats in a row. And as we know, Chelsea is a very cutthroat club in terms of they don't really stick long term with managers, even managers as good as like Claudio Ranieri and Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti to name a few. So we all know that Chelsea is very cutthroat, and the fact is if you've got five defeats in a row and the performances weren't great, and let's say he was only in the job for a short term, um, but I think that the change was needed. I think they were on a slippery slope, and they can't afford to drop out of the European places. And obviously, they're still with a chance of sneaking into Champions League if they turn things around. But as you know, they still get to play for in terms of the FA Cup as well. So there's still a lot to play for Chelsea, and I think the timing was right, even though he was only in the job for 104 days.
Yep. I'll be honest with you, I felt it was inevitable. Um, you know, when I saw that Brighton had defeated Chelsea 3-0, I did think it was right on the ball, to be fair. Because after that Brighton defeat, that was our fifth consecutive league defeat. And also they hadn't scored during them 5 games as well. It was the club's worst scoreless run since 1912. And I thought it started well under Liam Senior at Chelsea. I thought there was some bright bits. I thought there were some games I looked at them and I thought they looked pretty good. I remember there was a game in the FA Cup against Hull that I looked at and I thought they looked pretty good. But the last sort of month or so, it's fallen apart quite dramatically. And um, performances have kind of stalled, and we had I don't know if you've noticed this, but like the situation with Mark Cucurella and Enzo Fernandez, they were coming out speaking about the previous man, Ginesco Maresca, and how much they all enjoyed working under him. And then Enzo Fernandez was banned for a couple of games by the manager because he was sort of flirting with the idea of living in Madrid and sort of stuff like that. It got a little bit more. It got a little bit ugly, and then it just seemed to me that the players kind of stopped playing for him. They didn't really. There was that sort of, they just kind of gave up. Not give up, but weren't really responding to what he was wanting. And uh, after 106 days, he has been sacked, and I just feel that the jump from Strasbourg to Chelsea was too big for him. I think maybe going from Strasbourg to a sort of club in the Premier League. I actually think he is a good manager. I think he has got good ideas, and I actually hope he does do well. Um, but I just felt that the jump between Strasbourg and Chelsea was too big, and Yep, that's another manager now that this Chelsea ownership have now sacked. I think since they won the Champions League under Abramovich with Tuchel, they've sacked Tuchel, Graham Potter, Frank Lampard's been a manager, Mauricio Pochettino, Enzo Maresca, now Liam Rosenior. So I think it's about 5 or 6 managers they've sacked, and there seems to be no stability at all under this ownership. Hasn't gone well at all. And yet that's them now looking for another manager, and it's going to be interesting to see who it will be. The favourite at the moment is the departing Bournemouth manager, Andoni Iraola. Apparently there's a lot of talk about him becoming the next Chelsea manager, but that'll need to be. We need to wait and see what happens there. But yeah, just that news there of Chelsea parting company with Liam Rosenior. So we'll move on into the English FA Cup semi-final results. So on Saturday, the 25th of April, the result finished Man City 2, Southampton 1. So Man City progressed to the final. And on Sunday, the 26th of April, the match finished Chelsea 1, Leeds United 0. So we now know the confirmed FA Cup final will be between Manchester City and Chelsea. So Man City versus Southampton first. Pearse, what was your thoughts on that?
Thought it was a pretty dull affair in the first half. I thought wasn't really too many chances for either side. I thought Southampton defended well. And when they get the opportunity to go forward, they caused Man City problems, kind of similar to what they did against Arsenal. They've got pace, they've got a goal threat, and I think they're on a decent run in the Championship for in the playoff places. And they took the lead late on in the game. Finn Azaz, Irish internationalist, with a brilliant goal to be honest. Curling shot outside the box at the top corner. And then Man City just do what Man City do in terms of like FA Cup and big games. They just score 2 quick goals. The second goal from Nico Gonzalez is an absolute rocket. It reminds me of the Nemanja Matic years ago for Chelsea against Tottenham in the FA Cup at Wembley. But no, I thought Man City had just showed their quality in terms of what they can bring off the bench and the subs they can impact the game. And I thought the goal was worthy of to win any football match. And yeah, and Pep's now marching on towards a potential treble.
Yep. Yeah, I thought Southampton gave a really good account of themselves. As you said, it was quite a dull affair in the first half. Man City did have a lot of the ball. Couldn't quite convert their chances. And then I think it was around about the 77th minute, Finn Azaz with that amazing. He sort of twisted, turned, and shot and hit it from beside the box, and it flew into the top corner. And you're thinking, wow, Southampton are going to get away here with a 1-0 win and get to the final. But Jeremy Doku scored that deflected goal, and you're thinking, oh, Man City will have going to have the momentum here now. And then obviously, as you just said, Nico Gonzalez with that spectacular finish. I think it betters Finaz's goal. I think that's worthy to win any semi final. That goal. And yeah, I did feel Man City did enough to get to the final. And as you said, with all the difficulties Man City have sort of went through this season, that's them on for kind of a treble now with the league. They've already won the League Cup, and obviously they've got the chance to win the FA Cup. So an English treble, an English football treble, that they'll have their eyes on now, and it's another one, another trophy that Pep Guardiola is very close to getting. So yeah, Man City and then Chelsea won Leeds United. And Pearse, quickly, what's your thoughts on that?
Um, I never watched the game yet, so I don't have any thoughts on the match, unfortunately.
Well,
But I'm
it
all
was quite,
that
yeah,
obviously it's a good thing that Chelsea have ended a winless run under the caretaker manager. And for me, probably the favourites went through, and obviously the two big boys are playing in the final.
yeah. Well, Leeds did have their chances in that match. I don't think they played as well as I thought. I thought they would be in a bit of I actually thought Leeds were going to win that, but Calvert-Lewin didn't really have his best game. He had a golden chance with a header. He was all on his own in the box, and he just didn't execute it enough. Didn't If he put it into any corner, he would have scored. But Chelsea did score and around about the 23rd minute with Enzo Fernandez. And, it wasn't their best performance, Chelsea. They just sort of had to dig in throughout that match. Leeds United were sort of trying, they were huffing and puffing. Didn't really create any clear-cut chances in the match. Leeds, and yeah, I probably would say Chelsea just about edged it. And, interim coach Callum McFarlane, I don't think a couple of weeks ago he'd be taking Chelsea to the FA Cup final, but that's how quickly football changes, and that's what's happening. So, yeah, it wasn't a great match, but I think Chelsea just did about enough to get to the final, and yep, that'd be exciting, and we'll talk about that closer to the time. Man City v Chelsea final. So we'll move on now into the Scottish Premier League results. So on Saturday, the 25th of April, the results finished: Aberdeen 1, Kilmarnock 0, St Mirren 0, Livingston 2, Celtic 3, Falkirk 1. And then on Sunday, the 26th of April, the results finished: Dundee United 3, Dundee 0, Rangers 2, Motherwell 3, and Hibs 1, Hearts 2. So, Pearse, which match stands out to you the most?
Peter Pig.
Take a pick. I know it's quite a lot of big results there.
Two massive derbies at the weekend. I think I'll start with the Edinburgh derby.
Yeah,
I think obviously we've got to mention Hibs got off to the perfect start. Martin Boyle, his final season at Hibernian, his final Edinburgh derby, typical trademark goal, his 10th goal of the season. Tremendous finish at the back post from a set piece. Usually it's unlike Hearts to get done from a set piece. They've been so solid defence all season. And then I thought W man, just an absolute moment of madness from the Hibernian goalkeeper. I
yeah,
don't even know what he's thinking. He's in two minds where to clear the ball and he just can't, he just pulls the ball from outside the box. Deny another goal for opportunity because Kabori's right there about going to get it instead of him. It's a red card, down to 10 men. And then you get Felix Paslak, who stupidly gets a yellow card for squaring up to Stephen Kingsley. And then he's stretching for a ball, catches Beningwe in the knee on a yellow card. And for me,
yeah,
it's another blatant red card.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but then I thought Hearts were half the puffing. I thought Hibs defended amazingly with 9 men, and they get sucker points right at the end. I thought if it was 11v11, I don't think Hearts won that game. I thought Hearts weren't that great, to be honest, in terms of considering the fact that 9 men, they never really created that many clear cut chances. First goal was an own goal, but obviously Shankman's in there in the front post, and his strike takes a deflection, and then Blair Spottle at the end, edge of the box unmarked, and it takes a deflection past the goalkeeper as well. But it's just one of those ones. Like Hearts are just doing enough to get over the line in games. Marking potential champions, who knows? But um, it was a there's a lot of talking points in the game, that's for sure. And they remain top of the table. And then you've got the Rangers Motherwell game. I thought Rangers were outclassed the majority of the game. I thought Motherwell played some tremendous football. Every time they went forward, I thought they wanted to score. They controlled, dictated the tempo. I thought Rangers didn't know how to press them. And when Rangers got the ball, I thought they were very wasteful. Similar to the Falkirk game, they were 2-0 down at half time. They come rallying back into it, 2-1, then 2-2. And then you thought only with one winner. The Ibrox crowd were jumping, and then they get done in the counter attack again. And I thought the standard of goals were unbelievable in terms of from a model perspective. 'Cause I thought Rangers' goals were quite fortuitous. Chimiti's goal probably again slips, and then the back post header from close range. But I thought that in terms of like the running power, I thought Rangers players weren't willing to run back as and as quick as the Motherwell players are running forward. And for me, that is an alarming issue. That shows you Rangers are the Rangers mentality of the players that are either think they can just turn up and win the game, or they're just not willing to outwork their opponents. And I thought Motherwell get their tactics spot on, and obviously, like you say, Motherwell have not been in the greatest form of recently, but I don't think it's a surprise that they've went and caused Rangers problems because Rangers, some at Celtic, haven't had the best of style of football recently, but like I say, they've been getting results, scoring a lot of goals. But it puts Rangers now down to third in the league. And then obviously Celtic win at the weekend as well. Daizen Maeda looking back to his best. Getting 2 goals and assists. Thought Tierney's goal was unbelievable. And the Falkirk goal was unbelievable as well. I thought the touch and the finish on the half volley, unbelievable. The standard of the goals this week were unbelievable. And like I say, Celtic now move up to second in the table. And yeah, it was just another mad weekend of Scottish football where, again, not all three of the top three win.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I mean, yeah, you've summed that up pretty well, Pierce. Uh, I mean, every game right now is a very important match for everyone. But I'll I'll just go with the Rangers game. I just felt that's a big sort of dent in Rangers' title hopes. You know, the fact that was a home match as well, just sort of further dents their chances, and also just the performance. Because as you said, I thought in the first half, especially, I thought Motherwell totally dominated Rangers. They outplayed them. You know, Rangers couldn't deal with them at all. You know, just the way Motherwell have typically played this season. You know, playing in the pockets between the midfield and defence. They were finding so much space there, and were very deservedly 2-0 up at half time. Their second goal, especially, I thought was a brilliant goal. Then Rangers, they made some changes, and then the second half, they got some momentum. They got back into the game, and you're thinking, "Oh, here we go. The Rangers are they're going to be able to turn this round." And you're thinking this will be a massive 3 points if they do turn this round. But while they were pushing for that third goal, they get caught in the counter attack, and Longello managed to score Motherwell's third and his second of the match. And you're thinking, well, that's game over. And then I don't know if you saw at the end, but that I can't believe he missed it. Was it when the ball fell to Trinity in the 6 yard box, and all he has to do really is lift the ball, and he scored. That the keeper makes a really amazing save, and then Mikey Moore on the rebound, he gets his legs all tangled up and his feet tangled up, and he doesn't manage to capitalise as well. So they could have had a point in the end, but they didn't. And I felt Motherwell just about deserved the 3 points, and yet a bit of a big dent in Rangers' title hopes. Just as I said, just because it's a home match as well, they'd be looking to win all their home matches in this split. And then you've also talked about the Hearts match. That was a massive one for them, and the fact that they played last. Obviously Celtic played on the Saturday. They got the win over to Rangers. They couldn't do their job, and then it was Hearts right at the end. I just felt that was probably their biggest win of the season, just because of the fact they played last. It was an Edinburgh derby. I think that win for Hearts, for me right now, it probably puts them favourites. I think they definitely are favourites now to win this title. There's still a lot of football to be played, um, but it, it's I'll say Hearts are favourites, but it's very close to call. I think it'll be between Celtic and Hearts now. I think uh, I think Rangers, with that defeat for Rangers, I just think that's a big blow for them. But it's so close to call. It really is. It's
You're you're
for
saying,
me.
you're saying that, but what games come up this weekend? Hearts versus Rangers.
Well, that's playing the Bank Holiday Monday, and for me, that's an absolute must win for
For
Rangers. They have to
me,
win that.
for me, if Rangers lose that, they're out of the
Uh,
title
they're-
race. But if
yeah,
Rangers,
they're out the
wi-
tail
if
race. Even
Rangers,
if they draw for me,
but if Rangers win that, it's
yeah, they're back
wide,
in it.
it's wide open for everyone.
Yeah.
Because then Celtic be level with Hearts, and
Well, Celtic play Hibs away on the Sunday,
well,
which is a tough game.
yeah, if Celtic win they go the same points as Hearts, and then Rangers only a point behind. So then it goes into a three-horse race again. So
Yeah.
anything can happen. So I think that the game at Tynecastle is massive.
Oh, absolutely. For me, it's an absolute must win for Rangers. They have if they want to win this title, I think they have to beat Hearts at Tynecastle. Anything but, I think their chances have gone. That's my opinion. But for me, this is the most exciting title race in in the world right now. I can't. It's really really exciting to watch. It's got a lot of eyes globally are on, and Scottish football gets a lot of it gets a lot of stick for the competitiveness and the standard. But I mean, this season, uh, it has been a treat to watch. Maybe if you're not a fan of certain clubs, but it's been a really exciting watch this season, and yeah, uh, it's going to be really exciting the next 2 3 weeks to see where this title race where it goes to next. So yeah, just lastly, Piers, actually, just before we move on to Asian football news, I just want to mention a bit of news from Rangers. It was confirmed last week that Rangers captain James Tavernier will leave at the end of the season. So he's been with Rangers for 11 years, captained the side to a league title, but he has decided that he will leave at the end of the season. So just want your thoughts on that.
Well, I think he's an absolute legend for Rangers. I think he's probably one of the best players in modern times. Just think of what he's done in terms of goals, assists, level performances. I think for me, a bit similar to Trent Alexander-Arnold when he was at Liverpool. Amazing good forward, but not the best defensively. But I think he's improved over time. He isn't the best defensively, but he offers you so much good forward. And you think of most seasons with Rangers, he's arguably one of the top goal scorers. He's one of the most he's one of the top assisters. He's one of the best players in the side. And season in, season out, he's so consistent, so reliable. He's a big game player. And what he's done in both domestic and in Europe for Rangers, it's got a massive miss. And I don't think anyone can replace his boots. I know he's obviously getting on with his age now. He's 34, growing 35 soon. But there were massive shoes to fill. And I think if he had better teammates around him, and if Celtic weren't as strong, he'd have probably won a lot more titles, and he'd a lot more fans would put him down as one of the best Rangers players of all time. But because he hasn't won as many trophies as he would have liked, he probably won't go down in terms of every fan's eyes. That he's probably one of the best players for Rangers in terms of especially fullback anyway. It's incredible. But mass shoes to fill. And it remains to see where he goes next because I think he's still got a lot to offer and I don't think he wants to retire. But 11 years at Rangers is a long time. I don't think we would ever imagined that he would have stayed at Rangers for so long, considering he probably wasn't brought up a Rangers fan. Um, but yeah, no, I think it's got a massive miss for Scottish football as well.
Yeah, it's quite a. I wasn't really surprised to be fair. This was his last season, and just there was no real talk of it, of him signing a new deal. So I wasn't really surprised when I saw the news. But um, you know, to stay 11 years at any club now is an achievement in itself. So to do that, it's really impressive. I wouldn't say his Rangers career has been totally positive. It's had a lot of ups and downs. I think he's had some issues with fans. Just in terms of success, he's not one of the most successful Rangers captains. I think he'll look back at his Rangers career and regret that he hasn't won more. Um, you know, that's probably one of his biggest regrets. But what he won't regret is the loyalty he showed to Rangers. He's been with Rangers through some very low times. He's been with them since they were in the Scottish Championship. You know, and the rise up to winning that league title, and then also the amount of games he's played. Really missed a game for Rangers. Was was available nearly every match. And then last but not least, the most important one is the goals. It's a very rare to see a right back score that many goals. I mean, his goal scoring record for Rangers is incredible. It really is. It should be for me. He'd be really proud of that. And he's been a really good servant for Rangers. Most notably, I always remember that Europa League run to the final. I mean, he was scoring every game. It was ridiculous. He played a big hand in that run to the final. And yeah, he does leave as Rangers legend. I think absolutely. Um, but he's had his ups and downs at Rangers. But he'll obviously be looking to go out in a high and try and win this league title. And we'll see what happens. And it'll be interesting to see where it goes actually in the end as well. I think any team will be. I think a lot of teams will be interested in him, just considering his experience and the amount of games he's played, blah blah blah. So
Mm. I
yeah,
heard
be interested to see.
I heard today there's some rumours that Tottenham are looking at him.
Yeah, I heard that as well. And then I heard also about move over to Saudi Arabia as well. Might link up his brother at Bournemouth, Marcus Tavernier. That'd be interesting. I don't see that happening, but you don't know. You never know. But wherever he will go, with the fact he is leaving Rangers, I think, as you said, I think it will be a bit of a big miss for Rangers, considering he is the captain there. I don't see a lot of leaders in that Rangers dressing room as well, so Rangers are going to have to try and replace him.
Not just that, it's just the goals he provides and scores.
Exactly, yeah, he's a goal for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very big goal for it. Defensively, he's always had questions, but he is a very big goal for it. So, yeah, and he was a penalty taker as well. So they'll have to replace that as well. So it's going to be a big miss for Rangers. Um, but yeah, just wanted to share that news. Um, so for the final part of the show, Pearse will now give his Asian football roundup.
Yep, so we'll start with some J League One action. So we had on Saturday, the 25th April, we had 6 matches, and that was Fagiano Okayama FC 2, Avispa Fukuoka 0, Shimizu Pils 0, Nagel Grampus 2, Red Diamonds 2, Yukami F Mariners 3, Kawasaki Frontale 2, JFA Chiba 1, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 2, Seiji Osaka 1, V Varen Nagasaki 1, Gambo Osaka 1, with Gambo Osaka winning 6-5 on penalties. In the East Division, Cash Rantler still sit top on 32 points. FC Tokyo second in 26 points. Third, we've got Michiza Zelvia, and fourth, we've got Kawasaki Frontale on 20 points, just 2 points outside the top three. In the bottom of the table, we've got Jeffrey Chiba on 9 points. Cash Rattlers, Cash Racer, sorry, in 11 points in ninth position. Yokohama F Mariners in the final regulation playoff place on 12 points, and Uradima just outside also on 12 points, but 5 goals better off. And in the West Division, from top to bottom, it's ridiculous. Serpa with just at 12 points, and from 4th all the way down to 10th place, Serpa with just the 6 points. So from top to bottom, Vissel Kobe, 25 points, Lego Grampus 21, Kamazaka 21, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 19, Kyoto Sangatsu Shooter's Pulse, and Seiji Osaka all on 17 points, separate by just the 1 goal. And then Fagiano Okayama and Avispa Fukuoka in 8th and 9th, both on 15 points. In the bottom of the table, Vivara Nagasaki on 13 points. And in the K League One, with Saturday, 25th April, with Gangwon FC 1, FC Seoul 2, Bukchon FC 1995 0, Gimcho Sangwoo 2, Incheon 1, Jeju 0. Sunday, 26th April, with Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors FC 3, Phuong Steelers 2, Gwangju FC 2, FC Anyang 5, Ulsan HDFC 1, Daejeon Citizen 4. Top of the table, still got FC Seoul with an 8 point lead at the top of the table over Ulsan HD in 17 points. Jeonbuk third and 15 points. And just outside the top three, we've got FC Anyang and Incheon United, the two newly promoted sides, both on 14 points. And at the bottom of the table, team close to my heart, it's my local team, Gwangju FC, rock bottom on 6 points, or minus 16 goal difference, I think, at this stage of the season. I don't see them staying up. Butcher FC on 10 points in 11th place, and also on 10 points in 10th place is Kim Chung Sang Moo. And to round off with the Asian football news, with the AFC Elite Final. So it's the AFC's Asian Champions League, and that was on Saturday, 22nd April, with Al Ali from Saudi Arabia versus Machidas Elvis from Japan. And after extra time, the game finished 1-0. So the Japanese club Machidas Elvia were in the country's seventh tier a little over 20 years ago, and are coached by Go Kuruda, whose only previous head coach experience was at a high school level. And last November, they won their first major silverware, which was the Emperor's Cup in Japan. And at the weekend, they lost the final of the Asian Champions League Elite to Al Ali of Saudi Arabia, which is no small feat because obviously the millions that they spend, but an incredible journey, and it just fell short at the final hurdle. And that's all your latest Asian football news.
Thank you, Pearse, and thank you everyone for listening to this episode of the Football Chuggu Podcast. This podcast will be available to listen to on the Football Chuggu YouTube channel and also the Football Chuggu website. Thanks for listening and see you soon.
Bye bye.